Minty. How are you doing? All right. Okay, cool. Let's get the moving on what's happening at the moment. So the market has had a bit of a rally and is retracing at this present moment. But where are we going to go? What is the direction we're going to happen? Are we going to visit certain key levels above, or are we going to go further down? This is the question. So let's have a quick look through. I have a few other interesting places that I would certain things I want you guys to all look at and be understand and be clear on where I think this market's going to be going, what the direction of this could be, and we will see where we go from there. Did anyone, Bart Simpson, are you saying Bart Simpson on what? On what graph? Total? Are you talking about Bitcoin? What are we talking about? Where are you seeing a Bart Simpson going on? On total. Yeah, you could say that. I mean, that was the Bart Simpson was the effect here, to be honest. Let me get rid of all this crap. Yeah, what we saw here is where the Bart Simpson appeared its ugly head, this move here. But we're in a different place at this present moment to see what is happening, right? So we have to be clear at this present moment. I mean, no importantly, we hit two of the key areas of the wicks that I was expecting it to go to, and honestly, we could see a counter rally up to the 2.85 trillion. We really could see that, right? And I think that there is a real possibility of that happening. One second, let me just sort this out. Something's going a bit weird here. Can you disappear, please? Why are you here? There we go. Okay, cool. Let's see if this works now. Yeah, here we go. All right, cool. Let me start this up. All right, okay, that's that. All right, I think we should all be good now with the chat. What's an interesting cap now? Oh yeah, I need to cut my hair, so I put a cap on. Also, I'm super duper tired today, so mind my lack of energy. Now, where we're sitting at this present moment and what we're seeing, are we getting any of the chat coming through? Why is the chat not coming through? Is it working? Let's see if this is working. Let's see, is this working? Yes, it is working. Fantastic. How are you doing, ER2? So where we are at this present moment is we've hit some key levels, and more importantly, we've broken some key levels, right? To be honest, we really should have bounced around here, but we've broken a multi-month trend line. Now, there is a real possibility that we could, I'm gonna move this now, that we could take out this wick here. Now, the question is this, right? The question that we need to ask ourselves is this: will we see a retest of this bottom area around the 2.8, let's just say 2.8 level? Will we see the retest of that then further down? Or are we going to go and actually clean out this wick here around the 2.35 trillion? Now, I will say this, right? I'll say this very, very clearly in my understanding. I mean, especially if we look at Bitcoin, let's look at Bitcoin as well, right? So we can have a clear understanding. Bitcoin is the basically the king of all these things. Total basically is made out of all that. We are in essence at a ultimate key point for a potential rally here. Now, we are sitting at a critical area of support, a critical area of liquidity, and this points towards a move. That is the reason why in the Alpha Hunters group, I put those longs on, right? And that's why those longs hit hard. Apart from Pippin had a bit of a woozy, and then did exactly what I thought it would. I did a long here, it dipped back down and then exploded up to the ultimate levels. If anyone held it, they did extremely well. Now we are at a extreme level right now, right? How much is your group mate? Wait, it's gonna. I'm not adding anyone new now, because anyone that's added now are gonna be founding members, and what's gonna be happening? No, from there, it's going to be. Think of it this way, brother. Netflix. It's gonna be Netflix. It's gonna be that level. It's probably gonna be. It's gonna be hilariously low value, so everyone can benefit from it. And there are certain things I'm doing with a whole bunch of other exchanges that are going to be helping out the majority of the cost of all this. So that's why we're waiting a little bit. I will put you and I'll put all of you guys, anyone that wants to do it, will be able to access it when it's ready. It's just we're just finalizing a few things with the exchanges. I know all the the European heads of MEXC, so they're helping us out a lot. Been doing a whole bunch of like gifts and all that kind of stuff from that. But that's another time and place. So right now, if you look at Bitcoin, it's at absolute critical moments, right? Now there is still a chance. There's still a chance that we could visit these lower areas here. It's not out of the realm of reality, because we're so close to it. But at the same time, we are at extreme support as well. This level here is going to be critical, right? Now, if we break the 74,000 area, right, we're going to be seeing a very fast acceleration down towards the 200-day EMA. But I'm leaning towards somewhat of a counter rally here, especially over the weeks, right? Especially maybe if you look at the day. Let's look at the week. We've seen this enormous wick, right? And more importantly, let's just be realistic here. This is one large move here, right? Now, if we take the full spread of that and we take the 50%, it's kind of looking like around the 85,000 level, right? That we could see this laddering up to retest those areas before it goes down. There is a high chance of that. And to be honest, when we're sitting at such extreme levels of support, right? This is a super strong. I said 75. Actually, I said 74, funny enough. But anyway, I said between 75 and 74 was a key area of support. I always assumed that we would come and test these 68,000 areas, but it could be after this move that we go and visit those areas. Honestly, I'm somewhat. It's hard to read, right? That's why we play short-term moves and plays, or we played this amazing move on XDC and Render, and we played a really good move on Pippin, but I stopped. Anyone who didn't listen to me did well, right? That bit there, basically I stopped it there. I was like, a bit of loss, whatever, and then it went absolutely ballistic on me. Stupid. Anyway, whatever, right? So that's where we are right now. If we try and understand what's going on right now, this looks like there is a real chance that it could test the bottom level of the 85 to 84,000 area. And if we think about it this way, right? If we think about it this way, if we would say that this area here, this box, potentially, let's just say the 200 moving average, right? It is the target. Let's just say that's the target, right? The reason why I did a long here is because of this. If you think about it this way, just look at the risk to, well, that's the wrong one. Let's look at the risk to, what's going on? Long, right? I'm pressing long. What just happened? If you look at the risk to, let's say it goes to here. More importantly, let's say it goes to the right shoulder, and this is our risk profile. There's a chance. I mean, even say if it doesn't go, it goes. There's a chance. There's a better than, you have a good odd on playing the risk ratio here to do this, and that's what I played on. That's why I played on this thing, and I'm genuinely being serious. We could, to me, we could see a test of this 2.85 area. A wick up, test that, and then go down and test this area, or actual follow through. to go up to all these 3.3 trillion area, potentially the 3.652. I wholeheartedly believe that this 200-day moving average is the target. I believe that that's what we're going to be seeing, right? I believe that that's what we're going to achieve and get to. It's just when you have such a violent move like this, when you have this move of such an exhaustive selling event, you expect there to be somewhat of a relief rally, and that relief rally, as I said, at 82. Let's say 50% of the range. Let's give it a bit more breathing room, potentially up to the 85 to 84,000 area. I really do think that's a possibility of happening. Now, there's a few things though I want to give you guys in mind why I think it's such a. I mean, you're playing a bit of a risk doing the way that I am, right? You are. I mean, he played quite well this morning, and we'll see what happens tomorrow once the Monday range has developed. I mean, we're still developing the Monday range as we speak, right? So let's see what happens, and we'll see what happens at this present moment. Now, brother, you look stressed out. Didn't worry. One day we'll go back up. Oh no, I'm not stressed out. I'm just tired, man. A lot of things. You need to deal with a whole bunch of stuff. It's I am a bit tired. It's not about the market. I don't care. Whatever. It's money. Who gives a crap? But I'll tell you about a few things, right? I'll tell you about a few things. We need to look at some data. And you know I'm a data person, right? And I like to give data and understanding of what's going on. When everyone was selling, when everyone was going full port, it's over. There are moments where the sentiment gets to a point. Crypto King came back live last night looking. I bet you said we're pumping, guys. Anyway, there's a point when the sentiment gets to an area where the fatigue of selling starts to go, right? He said he hasn't been on Bitcoin. The market was boring and he was busy. I'm sure he was very boring and busy. Yeah, giving enough time so people forget. When you get to a point where the selling gets exhaustive, and everything looks a bit, how can I say? Hello, Bart. How you doing? It looks like it's over. When everyone says, you know, this market's over, I want to just remind you a few things, right? I want to remind you that this over sentiment has happened a lot, right? We've seen it a lot. It's not something that's not an everyday type of occurrence, but it's happened a lot. And usually when you get to a point when everyone says it's over, it's not there yet. We're not at the point where people are going, it's like crypto is done, it'll never exist again, it's over again, like there's no chance that this thing will ever move. We're not there yet. I think that will happen after another large liquidation event that's happened. But when you get to that point where you start hearing everyone saying it, everyone moving away from it, it's usually those moments there is the time where you should start to get very, very bullish. And we're close. Genuinely, we're closer to that than to the other direction of it going. I don't think we have too much more left to go down. But there are some other fears, right? I mean, like if you look at all of these things, Mt. Gox collapse, then you got the ICO burst and Black Friday and all these things, the FTX collapse, all of these were moments where everyone says, great content, keep up the good work. Thank you so much. Everyone says that it's over, right? But this is the thing. You don't want to be we have a very close example of what's happening. You don't want to be those people that will photographized. God, I'm tired. You don't want to be those people that are photographed lining up to buy physical silver, for example. Do you know what I mean? That's why I knew. That's why I was saying like this is going to have a major correction, because when you see things like that, you know that that's a top. You know that retail is coming. You don't want to be the retail, right? You want to be in a situation where you're there early. Still no sense, is no liquidity in the market. It's just words, right? But you want to be in the market when there's liquidity, Rafa. You want to be there before all that comes in. This is the thing that I want to say. But I'll get to the liquidity situation right now, and that's where the worry is, right? But at this present moment, I just want to give you a bit of a situation where you can zoom out and understand that we've gone through these type of things a lot, and a lot of people have said very negative things, right? And I'm going to get to the Uncle Orange as well, because there's something he's done that's very, very critical to understand. Very, very critical to understand. And I get it now. I get why he's made that decision. I'll get to that in a situation. Crypto will never ever be the same again for alts. It's been said here, it's been said here, it's been said here, and it's going to be said again. All these things I'm hearing from you guys, all of them, are exactly the same sentiment that was heard in every single one of these situations. Every single one. Do you think it wasn't the case when FTX went under, everyone said the same thing? Please, just answer me that question. When you don't, I mean, FTX was the exchange. It's like Binance going under. I want you to understand the severity of what that was. That is a crypto ending situation, right? So it's just at this present moment, it's emotions talking over understanding of what's happening. And right now the emotions are down. I get with you. I get it. I understand everyone's sad, but just zoom out and understand that the difference between here and here is time. Difference between down here 50 and 300,000 is time. That's it. I'll just let that sink in for a certain amount of time so you guys understand. Just give me a perspective. Now let's get to data, right? I know we're all tired. I'm tired. Everyone's tired. Whatever. It's all good. But this is the case. You know, it ties you out of a market, and then when you get out of a market, then everything goes crazy. It's always the case, right? Now, we need to look at some other things. The not so good, right? I want to show you the not so good things as well, right? Let me get both these graphs up so you guys can clearly understand what's happening here. 1 second. People are calling me. 1 second. I apologize. There we go. Sorry. Now we get to this situation right now, right? And these are the worrying things. And I want to be very, very clear to understand this, right? First things first, if we look at the understanding of what's happening in the market right now, right? And we're seeing the difference in the realized cap. This difference in the realized cap is showing that no new liquidity is coming in. And that's a problem, right? Because if there's no new liquidity coming in, and we're getting into a situation where market is getting aggressively oversold, we're going to have a bit of a problem moving this up, right? This thing is not a good place to be sitting in. Furthermore, if we look at some other important things, if we look at some other more important things, if we look at the actual wallet, why is this not working? Hello? Ah, there we go. If we look at the average wallet short-term wallet holder ratio, which is basically whether they're up or below, most are selling at a loss at this present moment, right? Most are at a loss scenario. And what this creates, in line with not having enough liquidity moving into the market, is that it creates an environment that is extremely volatile to any type of news. Because if people are selling at a loss, then if there's bad news and we see those type of things actually happening, that will have that effect and move in that direction, right? We'll be in a scenario where we're going to be hyper sensitive to news. Now, I will say this, though. This also works the opposite way as well. And because we're in a scenario right now where sentiment is extremely low, and we've had these major pullbacks, especially after gold and silver and everything else like that, had a enormous correction. I love it. The other day, someone came up to me and was like, chill, relax. Silver had a correction, and I'm just like, bruh, that's a pretty big correction, my man. We're talking about actual full on insane levels of pullback. Now, there is one interesting thing that I would want you guys to understand, right? If this market was over, right? If we weren't so close to what could be described as a bottom, or even if this is the local bottom for this to move up, if this market, and I hope you guys agree, that is fully controlled by market makers, right? Does anyone have anything to say about that? That the fact that it's run by market makers, does anyone agree with that statement? Anyone agree with that statement? Yes, no? Yes. If the market is run by market makers, the single largest market maker by every understanding of anything is Binance. They own the majority of all of the coins. They own a very enormous amount of Bitcoin that actually trades it, not buy and hold like MicroStrategy does, and all of that kind of stuff. You would expect that a movement like this would be a negative for them. It wouldn't be something that's bad, right? And it shows you this. The reason why I believe that we are very, very close, if not at the bottom, right? And this is just my thoughts, right? Say if we did this triangular thing. And you know what this triangle is? It's averaging down, where you buy more as it goes down to these key areas here. So you get an average price. That's a good entry. If that was the case, and we're sitting about the market that's run by full market makers, why did Binance start buying Bitcoin? And not small amounts of Bitcoin. Yesterday they bought 100 million worth of Bitcoin. And the day before that, they bought another 100 million of Bitcoin. Why would they do that? Why would the largest market maker in this industry buy a large fathomable amount start buying Bitcoin right now? Why would they do that? Why would they do that if they didn't expect that there was going to be some level of either relief or we're near the bottom? This is the thing that I want everyone to understand, right? Not only that, there is a ratio. I did a video about it. No one watched it. You guys need to watch the inst, right? There is a ratio of wallets. There's a ratio of wallets that are in loss to wallets that are selling, and there is a balanced level where when they reach the 50% level, or 50% of wallets are under, and the 50% of wallets that have sold have finished selling, we come to an equilibrium point, right? And this equilibrium point has marked every single bottom of this market. I showed this in my Insta. You guys need to check that out, right? We're very, very close, like really close. We're talking degrees of ability here, degrees of change that we will see. We're close. We're really, really close at this moment. So it's either here or from here that I would expect some form of potential rally. I'll say this, right? Some form. Whether it is we start running up to here and we get to these levels and then it breaks down towards the 200-day EMA on the weekly, potentially even lower, maybe down to the 58. There is a chance it could get there, right? I'm not saying it's not possible. It really is a chance that we could get to the 60,000. Whether we get a deeper correction and then a move from there is a question. Furthermore, when we have such massive liquidity events, right? I was talking to a banker the other day, and he seemed quite excited, which is very strange, right? Because he was like, when you get these mass traditional market, it's not a new channel. The other one got banned for human trafficking, so trying to get that back. We'll see if it comes back or not. I don't think so. I have a feeling it's not going to come back. It's taken too long. You know what I mean? So this is my alt account, and I do all of my market stuff on a different platform now. I don't do it here. What are your thoughts of the analysts out there that say we need to hit the 200? Sometimes it can happen. Yeah, it's true. So all the Inst is where I put all my videos. So if you want to check that out. So this is the thing, right? This is where we are at this present moment. We're in a scenario where, do we first tap and then run? Or do we have a counter rally and then liquidate all of the people that said that we're back? Because you'll hear that, right? You need to cut out the noise of people shouting things like, oh, we're so back, or it's over. Because those people that are shouting are there to try and get clicks to people to read, because they play on your emotions, right? They play on the emotions of where you're sitting there going, oh, wow, look, oh, I'm so down. Oh, it's down. Then I start selling everything. Then it pumps like, oh my God. Don't listen to the noise. Understand and see what the market is showing us. Right now, I'm not going to lie, it doesn't look great, right? Things don't look good. I would not say this looks good in any sense of the word. But would I say we're close to the bottom? Yeah, I'd say that. I think I'd say that. I'd say that we're close to the bottom. I mean, the way that total close points towards a potential further downward push, you could do that. Now, GB, you say it feels like the D word, right? But I'll say this. If you're not leveraged, which to be honest, leverage is the absolute destroyer of all of this stuff. Believe me, these people up here were leveraging 1,000x leverage to move this up. 1,000x, like actual insane levels of leverage that was being moved, right? Now, if people weren't leveraging right now, if that aspect wasn't being played, then we'd be in a different scenario. Leverage is a way to extract liquidity, because it's just how it is, right? If you really don't know what you're doing, you have to play that balancing game to do it. Potential inverse head and shoulders could play out. What time frame are you looking at? Hello, LGS. Now, if we look at the total Bitcoin, it's not looking great, because we are sitting at a point where it hasn't had a market structure shift, so it looks like it's going down. I know XCC is looking good. I did a call on it. That's exactly where I did it, right there. It's not bad. What kind of a move was that? What kind of move was that? A 9%, not bad, 80. Not leverage, but down close to 6 figures. Yeah. But again, if you're in good, healthy, strong coins that have all the fundamentals that are going for it, where increasing orders, potential profit being made from the chain or whatever you're investing into, whether there is a increasing level of developers growing in those chains, then it's just a matter of liquidity that we're playing with. Because I'm saying to you that it's over understanding has been said countless times. I don't even hear it anymore. It's like the same thing that people were talking about with silver. It's going to $300. It is going to $300. There is no chance this is correcting. Not a chance it's correct. And I was like, yeah, cool. Well, put your life savings into it. No problem. You go with that. I've just been here before. This is the thing. We're also at levels where 2 years ago, everyone was crazy happy. Yeah. It's just a matter of perspective and time. Look, in our industry, memories are short, right? They're complete. It's the shortest memory span of any industry I've ever said, because everyone is looking for the next fix, the next hype that's going in. And the thing is, people should be hyped when there is no hype. This is the thing that's a lot of people don't seem to get. And all these people like yourselves and everyone else that's sitting here to try and see where the next move is, I'm getting to the stage where I'm going to be starting to buy a bit more spot now. We're at spot levels. Seriously. Because there's not much more that I think that this thing can go down. It could. Hey, this is a crazy industry, but this area here is massive levels of support. It's enormous levels of support. It's the reason why the weekly 200-day EMA is sitting there, because that area is extreme support right now. This is the thing, right? I just wonder where all the money go from. I'll tell you where it went to. Most of them were leverage plays, so they're on balance book. They're on the balance books at the moment. They're sitting, not in actual buying of the dollar. They're sitting on the sidelines, and I'm going to get to this now, right? So you guys understand this. All this market needs right now is a catalyst. We're at catalyst territory right now. Catalyst. Like the catalyst here was when Donald Trump said that there's going to be no tariffs, right? He's pausing on tariffs. Like when it was down here, when the potential conflict in the Middle East is not going to happen. Remember that when the rockets were flying, everything went down. Like at every single scenario where we've had a point where it looked like it was over, a catalyst came and moved this market. That is the scenario where we're sitting right now. And I'll say this to you, right? For all those people that think that silver and gold and all those things, and even if you look at this, let me show you the 10-year, right? For all those people that believe that all of this is going to be a forever up, the main reason why this absolutely nuked down was because of Donald Trump's decision. Because of Donald Trump's decision to get to put forward as the new Fed chair, right? This is the thing that I want everyone to really understand who Kevin Warsh is, right? He is a ultimate inflation hunter, right? Is the government going to shut down? Maybe not. Whatever. He is the ultimate inflation hunter, right? He is a person that will do whatever it takes to get inflation down, but more importantly, he is more of the same as Powell. As much as Donald Trump shouts and figureheads about how he's the wrong person and this and the other, this guy is worse on every single level of what he said was bad. Was bad. But I will say something to you guys, right? What you may believe is bad doesn't necessarily mean it's bad for the markets and investors. Let's not forget this, right? Let's not forget this. We had the maximum growth in this industry when power was in power and interest rates were at its absolute highest. Let's not forget this, right? Again, it's another thing of understanding how short people's memories are. See, you need to understand that Donald Trump, as much of a interesting figure he is, his decisions are coming from people that are a superior intellectual level than him. Because some of the moves he does are completely contrary to what he says. And this is the thing, right? If he's putting in someone that is exponentially more hawkish than Powell, then what he's doing is like, okay, what I'm going to do is going to be inflationary. What I'm going to do is inflationary. So you need to do whatever it takes to make sure that what I'm doing doesn't affect the markets, because he's dying to understand. Whatever he does, hello Wingnut, how you doing, my man? It's good to see you here. But because whatever he does, markets are reacting and they're trying to see what kind of effect it will have to realistic events in the market, right? So he needs someone that is going to be aggressive with the market, whether he needs to increase it, whether he needs to decrease it, whatever it is. And I'll say this, right? This guy is a superstar. He is an actual superstar. He was one of the key guys that got the US out of the 2008 financial crisis. It was him, right? So either this guy is going to do a full 180 and turn against all of his principles. I doubt it, right? Or the market, the government, and everyone are foreseeing some inflationary event that's going to be happening. So when I say we're close, I'm saying we're close to a point where a catalyst is almost near. So I'm getting to a point where I'm like, I might start buying some stuff, like longer term. Watch doesn't like the big balance on the Fed's books, but also feels rates can be much lower. Look, he as a singular person has no say. The Fed is a group of individuals that come together to get to an understanding, right? He's the face, and he will try and persuade people in the one direction. Right now, he will do what is best for the U.S. economy and what needs to be done. Now, what the benefit of what he will do, and that's why gold and silver went down, because if this guy is going to be an inflation hawk, why would you need to be in any of these inflation protecting assets? Why? There's no need to be, right? Is the liquidity real going to move from gold and silver to crypto? Not yet. I'll also say about this, right? The three types of investors into gold and silver and things like that, they go through sovereign funds, institutions such as banks and everything else, and retail, right? Institutions and sovereign funds cannot buy. Some can. But let's say in a vast majority of the cases cannot buy Bitcoin because they're not allowed to. They're not allowed to buy it. And the only way that they will be able to buy it is if the Clarity Act gets passed in one way or another. Like the Clarity Act has to get passed because that is the legal framework for entry into this market. Now, to me, whichever which way you look, we've reached on Bitcoin. It's if you think about it, a unbelievably key point, which should indicate some form of relief rally to happen. On total, that's still a little bit down it could go. Still a little bit. It could go to around the 2.35. But we're so close to it. We're talking, what is this? About a 10% move, right? Which can absolutely annihilate everything. But it might be needed to get that sentiment to a point where everyone thinks it's over. So we're in this thing, and that's why you have to be unbelievably agile and close and only play short-term games. I literally said to everyone at this or in the Alpha Hunters group, I said, look, whatever we do, make sure it's a scalp. You 9% at 20x, 180%. I'm happy with that. Even if it's a 10, 90%, I'm happy with that. This is the thing, because this market can move in any way. It's so hyper sensitive at the moment. Think of it yourself. Think of if it was you. You're hypersensitive. Say if you all of a sudden something comes out that Donald Trump is going to do something crazy in the Middle East, you're looking to sell your stuff. That's the sentiment you have, because you're fearful of what it might do to the market, right? So we're at that scenario here. And all I'm saying is that, man, we're close. Did you just say Total 3 will close the 125 gap? What, down there? Okay, maybe. But this is the thing. I'm getting to that point soon. We'll see. We'll see what happens, but that's where I'm sitting at the moment. We have some problems. We have problems where there's no new liquidity coming in. We have problems where people short-term holders are selling at a loss. There is this sentiment feeling that this thing is not going to go up. Right? We're looking at other scenarios where things don't look fantastic. But we are getting to an impasse point here where this thing has a potential to move. What's the number of the 10% drop? Around that 65 to 70 mark. Yeah, around that. Furthermore, we also have to understand this other thing. Just think of the sentiment idea of this, right? How many of you think that there's going to be a bounce off this 200-day EMA? How many? How many think that that's going to happen? I would say bet to all of you guys, at least 90% of you guys believe that there's going to be a bounce at that point. Not others, Total 3. So imagine the buy orders that are going to be here. Whether that'll be enough to push it all the way up to another level, or what will be the scenario, is another matter. But I'm telling you, this area here is extreme support. We're talking about multi-decade support. That's it. That's what I would say. Did you say that Total 3 will close the gap? Did you just say... One second. Others, not Total... Oh, others. I was about to say... Bruh. I was like, man, don't make me hurt you. 1 second. Let me have a look at others. Where's others? Let's look at the others. Others. All right, let's have a look at others. All right, where are we? Did you say the one on 25? I don't think it's gonna go down there. I don't think so. I think it will take out this wick maximum. I think that's going to be the catalyst for others. Let's look at the larger time frame. Let me see. Why are you saying 125? What am I say? What am I say 125? You mean the full retrace of the yeah, maybe. Yeah, I can see why you'd say that. Like full retrace of the run. Maybe. Maybe. I still think that the level of support around here will be massive. So alts could go down to the 155 billion mark, but it could go all the way to zero if you need to be in that understanding. I think we get infusion retail liquidity until Clarity Act to pass. No, you need to no. No, I mean no. You think about it the wrong way. Clarity Act passing will take scalpers day trade. Yeah. Clarity Act will start the process. The integration of and the movement of money into this is going to take years from the Clarity Act, but it'll give the pathway to growth, right? And that's what's important. I'll just say this, right? The moment where you get to a point where you say this is over, it's usually that give it 10 to 15% more a feeling of that, and then I think we would hit the bottom at that point. That's where we're sitting at this present moment, right? So that's where I am. I think will the bull run come, and when do you think it will? Bull run is in my humble opinion, it's going to, like in Bitcoin, I would say we had the bull run. Alts not so much, right? But I'll say this right now. Right now, we're in a scenario where everything for this market to grow is almost there. See, look, think of it this way. We have had multiple positive, bullish news for this market, right? But nothing's really come of it. And nothing's really come of it because this is an ultimate risk on asset right now. And we're in an environment where uncertainty is at its maximum. If I was to ask you right now, what's going through Donald Trump's head, there'd be 1,000 questions. There'd be 1,000 answers to it. He could do this, he could do that. Who's going to take over? What's he going to do? More tariffs, no tariffs. He's going to do that. Oh, no, Afghanistan, no, this. It could be anything. Would that make you want to go into a risk on asset right now? No matter how bullish the market is. Right now, people are afraid to put it into metals. The ultimate level of understanding of what the market is, right? So we're at that stage. And I think we might. I think there might be a potential for a rally, maybe. At least to close the 50% of this massive move down that we've had. At least that's what I'm thinking. I mean, it's from there. Forget that. 82 is a possible. Nice out of res and Camden Marcus special. Always Camden Marcus is actually from America. Sorry, how much missed that? To me, a 50% retrace of such a violent move is warranted. Or to that extent, I just expect there to be some form of a rally, enough to play in the risk profile of what could be the play here. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I think. Because you don't usually get such a move and then another massive move like that down without there being some form of a counter rally bounce, potentially to test this wick again, this area here around the 2.78 2.77 trillion level. That's my humble opinion. That's what I'm thinking it to be. So we'll see where this will sit, where this will go, and where it will settle. But right now, playing the market short is very, very important. Also now, I mean, like even with total 3. See, the problem is like that is a very bearish move. Like super bearish. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But that's where I'm going. And that's why I wake up literally every day, scan the market, understand where it's going, and then play short-term plays accordingly. You know what I mean? We had a, I mean, I did 28, so 100 and 180. Where did render go? Oh man, God, that looks so terrible when you zoom out. We had 180. What was this? And yeah, 280%. I'm happy with that. Good, done. To the next move. That's how you play right now, because the market is so sketchy, and people if people are in loss are selling, then you need to be in a scenario where at any moment and any bad particular news, it could be a downward spiral. But I'll say this, like it's still, oh man, you have to play on the shortest potential move, and that's why you need to be a part of of a group that you trust and you can understand that the group will play together, because that is still looking a bit bearish, man. We'll see. Anyway, look, guys, I'm absolutely shattered, so I'm gonna love and leave you guys. I appreciate you all being here. I'm gonna be dropping some videos on the other side. I know it's gonna be a bit of a short one, but I'll just say this. It looks relatively. It looks like that we could get a move up, but right now it being rejected at this point also points to a further move down in this scenario. We'll see where this goes, and we'll see where this moves tomorrow. But you have to be agile when you're playing this. It's not a buy and hold market. It's a trade market. It's really, really important to understand. And when you get to that, give us some scalp moves in the. Oh, we did two. XDC and render. You should look at it, Master. It's there. I can show you on the screen if you want me to. That's the situation of where we are. That's a movement that we're going through, and you have to be active in this, right? So if you want to, I see, but I was in a meeting. What? I don't know. These aren't things that you can find. Look, finding the right plays is not easy in this market. It's really not easy. You have to. It's few and far between. The ones that work are important. And that's it. That's the way we are. And also we have KB that it does his lives that gives great alpha, and all of his plays have been working out amazingly. So that's the thing. I do have a community, yeah. And it's so I'm not putting anyone in there at this present moment. Everyone in there are founding members, and they know what that is. Once I've sorted out the MEXC, because I know the European head of MEXC, and he's helping us out with a lot of stuff, like whole bunch of stuff, right? Once that's done, I will open it up to everyone to join, and it'll be like, think of it like a Netflix subscription, super duper simple. I don't want to make it completely open, because you get a bunch of scammers and idiots and all those kind of people in there, and I'm tired of that stuff. You know what I mean? And I need to protect against it, even if it's a small amount. Those people don't even like to pay that. You know what I mean? So it protects you guys. All right, guys, love, affection, all that kind of stuff, and I'll catch you guys later. All right, take care. To the guys on the YouTube and X, I'll a bit more of a detail to you guys now, and we can go from there. All right, take care everyone on TikTok. All right, okay, cool. So to all you guys that are on X on YouTube, those who want to be a part of the initial drive to the pro group, you have to join the Learn by Alvarez. If you go to the comments below, you'll see the Learn by Alvarez link there. Those people are going to be getting first shot at the entrance to this. It's going to be super duper cost effective, right? But part of the deal is that there's going to be full-blown competitions both on WeX and MEXC, like large competitions, 5,000, 10,000, 50,000 awards to be won. You're going to get deposit benefits to such an extent. On WeX, we're looking at 25% deposit bonus. So you put 100 and they give you $25. It's a no-brainer, right? And it's all going to be a part of our Alpha Hunters group. You're going to have leaderboards. You're going to have competitions. Everyone, and it's only going to be available for the people within the group and all of that kind of stuff. That's it. All that kind of stuff that's going to be going on. But you have to, people who are going to be at first shot are going to be in the Learn by Alvarez group, and it's in the links below. All right, I'll catch you guys later. I'm absolutely shattered, and love, peace, and to all of you guys that are here. All right, take care, love, affection, and all that stuff. Catch